today's episode, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 tips on how to improve your squat setup, because a lot of people are talking about assistance lifts, they're talking about technique when they actually have the bar on their back and they're actually squatting. But in this episode, I'm going to give you 5 basic tips on how to improve the setup. So this is before we even start the descent to the lift. And the setup, believe it or not, is one of the most important things to contribute to a good squat, because it's a good habit to get into psychologically, and it puts you in the right mechanical position to lift the heaviest amount of poundage. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about bar height, because a lot of people, when they tend to set up for the squats, tend to have the bar way too high or way too low. And if it's way too low, you're going to waste too much energy trying to do a quarter squat, and if it's way too high, you're going to waste too much energy trying to do a calf raise, especially when you're unracking it and when you're re-racking it. So you want to find the happy medium, so we're using the least amount of energy so we can use that energy to squat the heaviest amount of weight. So as you can see right here, it's not too high, but it's not too low. I would say the sweet spot is like mid-chest, close to upper chest, but it's going to vary from person to person. It's more of a comfort thing. But as you can see, it's lined up around my upper chest. So it's comfortable. Okay, so the second tip now when you're setting up is that you want your feet to be directly under the barbell. The reason why is because this is going to make the weight closer to your center of gravity, and it's just going to be a lot lighter when you unrack the bar. So a lot of people, they tend to have their feet in the back of the bar, so they have to kind of good morning the weight up. Then other people have the weight too high, so they could pretty much fall back. So once again, we're trying to find the happy medium, and I would say the middle of your foot should be lined up with the barbell for the most part. That's going to make it a lot easier for you. Okay, so as you can see, I'm getting under the bar. My foot is right under. It's not too high, it's not too low. Right under. Okay, so now the third tip on the list, and this is a very subtle one, but it's very important, is that you want to take a deep breath before unracking the bar. So a lot of people tend to just unrack the bar without taking a deep breath, but they only take the deep breath for the actual descent. So what they'll do is it'll look like this. They won't take a deep breath, they'll just unrack, and then they'll take the deep breath to squat. What I want to see instead is that you're going to take a big deep breath to help you unrack the bar, then you're going to take your steps, and then you can take another deep breath again. So it's basically 2 breaths. In other words, it looks kind of like this. Okay, so now the 4th tip on the list is doing a quarter squat to unwrap the weight, as opposed to just pushing the hips through and then stepping back. So basically when you do a quarter squat, you're wasting energy, you have energy leaks, and you could be using that energy for the actual squat itself. So there's no point in doing a quarter squat with heavy weight, stepping out and then doing a full squat. You might as well just push the hips through like I'm going to show you, use that energy to step back, and then you have the energy to squat more. So a lot of people, a very common mistake, still do this. It's kind of like a quarter squat. What I want to see you do instead is get under the bar. All you're going to do is just push the hips through, and then once you're in position, you take the steps back. So last tip on the list is stepping with the feet off the floor when you're unracking the bar and you're stepping back. So in other words, this is a very common mistake people make when they squat, and it may not be a big deal when you're a novice, but when you're squatting heavier weights, you know, over 450 or something, these things really do matter, because it's going to throw you off balance and it's going to screw up the lift, it's going to screw up your confidence. So a lot of people, when they tend to squat and they're stepping back, they'll make their feet leave the floor. So that's a bit exaggerated, but there's no point in making your foot leave the floor like this. If you have 500 pounds on your back, just the fact that your foot is leaving the floor a little bit it's gonna throw you off balance. So what you wanna do instead, the intelligent thing to do, is make sure that your feet keep contact with the floor. So that's it. It's very smooth, it's very consistent. My feet didn't have to leave the floor. There was no wobble from side to side, and it creates a more confident squat. Okay, so there you guys have it. Those are 5 basic tips on how to improve your squat setup. Be on the lookout for a part 2 dropping very soon. And just remember that all these things do matter. It may look like a very small detail, but when you're squatting heavier weights, when you're squatting over 400, 450, into the 500s, all these things matter, and they're all going to build your confidence for a better squat, and they're all going to keep you more injury free, and there's just certain ways to lift heavier weights in a more efficient manner. So hope you guys learned something. Be on the lookout for part 2.